Hi, Cheetah here. That's right. I'm speaking on the behalf of the Cheetah because we're going to do this one together. Yeah, we decided to go back to the martial arts. Seemed like you guys liked our review of First Strike, Jackie Chan's First Strike. And I hadn't necessarily planned on another review so soon, but I thought about it and I watched this and I said, you know what? I haven't done a Dollar Tree theater in a little bit, so I'm going to make this both martial arts and Dollar Tree theater. And so the movie that we're going to be talking about today came from once again from my buddy Catfish, rest in peace. And him and I also love kung fu movies. We used to watch them all the time. So the movie that we'll be talking about today is Death Duel of Mantis. That's right, Death Duel of Mantis. We'll get to this one a little bit later, but today we're talking about Death Duel of Mantis. All right. Death Duel of Mantis came out in 1978. It was filmed in Taiwan. I don't know the name of the people. I know the cast members' names. I just don't know how to pronounce it very well. So I'm just gonna do my best to. I'm gonna do my best just to try my best and try not to mangle these words too much. Because this is the problem about doing movies like this. You don't if you're like me and you don't know the name of the films, it's easier to massacre them, and I don't really want to do that too much, but I will do my best. All right. The plot of the movie is it's this is a really interesting movie. First of all, I gotta say this is one of the more interesting martial art films I've seen. The story is this young man. He looks like a simpleton, and he's working as he just works for a local mob boss. And he's just a simple guy, and he gets bullied by all these other henchmen of the main mob boss, and but he discovers a young woman and her dad have a little restaurant, little diner, and he likes the girl very much, and he's trying to catch her eye, but unfortunately, the mob boss that he works for is running a numbers racket, and so they go through all the marketplace and they extort money from all the shopkeepers who really can't afford it, and then of course they start messing up everybody's shop. Um, so he that's what he sees it. He doesn't want any part of it, but lo and behold, he decides to that he's watching his boss one day practicing his kung fu, which is called a chicken style kung fu, which I've never heard of. And so the boss sees him out there in trying to imitate him, and he says, "Come over and practice with me." So he takes this young man underneath his wing, chicken wing, takes him under his wing, and teaches him his martial arts, his style. The thing about it is, though, he actually turns out to be a pretty quick learner. And the reason why he wants to learn is because the young lady that he wants to marry or to attract, she's a very good martial artist, and she says, "Well, if you can grab my scarf, then I'll give you a date." And so he goes around and he tries to grab the scarf, and she beats him down every time. But he's getting better and better, and so what he does is he goes ahead and he asks his buddies to uh, he's so anyway he's trying to do is trying to teach this young man to go back up, his main henchman, like basically teaching him to be a thug, but he really doesn't want to do that. He wants to hook up with the noodle vendor, and her name is Hoa. I don't know if that's the name, but she tries to Heizo. It's Heizo. I don't know if that's his name neither, but that's what I'm calling it. Heizo. He tries to romance her. Of course, she rebusts his advances. So then then he uses his new skills and he stops. He actually stops some rowdies. Um, some thugs that are coming in to mess around with her restaurant, and he manages to use his new chicken foo style to stop them. And but and so that's really cool. From another, the thugs were from another gang, and he stopped them from moving on his boss's territory. So his boss rewards him by moving him up to the main henchman. Uh, Now he's making all the other henchmen he used to bully him. Now they're making him. Now they have to follow his orders, and more importantly is they have to follow his orders, or he's going to pound some butt. But all of a sudden now he's got a promotion, but now he's expected to be a thug, and he's working for a thug, and that's well, but of course he doesn't see his Master Lou, as a thug. He sees him as a father figure. So it causes a conflict with him because Master Lou's not all that bad of a guy. He seems a little shady, a little bit of corruptness, but he seems to be like when he gets challenged by a rival gang, he fights their fighter, and but that's all he does. He lets the other gang go. He says, let's not do this anymore, and so he seems rather like a malevolent boss. Like he's doing stuff on the side, but it's not all that guy. He's not all that. He's sort of shady, sort of black and white. Is not really defined. He walks in both worlds. Um. But unfortunately, Ho promptly tells Heiso that his boss is not the nice guy that he thinks that he is. That, as a matter of fact, his boss has killed her mother, and her father and her actually in that small town doing the vending because they want to get revenge. Um, so um, he's a little bit like taken aback by that. And so see, so then he tries to get the scarf again, and this time Ho doesn't hold back, and now we see that she has a different style that she has not seen, and she takes care of business, and what we see that she is a mantis fighter. A mantis fighter, their hands are like this. They fight with their hands like this, and they strike with the knuckles. Very effective fighting. Very effective. It's definitely a very skillful discipline to learn. Um, he finds out that Master Lu, he has gotten to where he's gotten because he has been strong arming all the local merchants, and those that don't follow get beaten and chased out of town. And then so Ho decides that he's going to strike back by he's going to go ahead and return the money that his boss has been taking. He's going to return it to the town. So he attacks the gang that he's supposed to be leading on these raids for his boss. He in turn turns around and defeats them in a fight, and takes the money and returns it to the town people. So so of course Master Lu is he's he's a little bit shocked by that, and of course now he's a little bit pissed off. So he decides that he's going to take care of his he's going to go ahead and take care of his main rival, and so he does, and he doesn't just beat him this time. He kills him and his main fighter with his chicken kung fu. And it turns out that Ho and Heiso starts learning Mantis Kung Fu. So he's learning both styles at the same time. He's learning chicken Kung Fu from his master, and then he's learning Mantis Kung Fu from Ho's father, who's a Mantis master. But he's also a little bit banged up. He can't take on Master Lu by himself. So the big finale comes where Heiso and Ho and her dad face off against Master Lu, and they have a drag out fight. Heiso acts a little slow. He acts a little slow, and that leads to her dad being killed because Ho can't keep him off, can't keep Master Lu off of her. And then Heiso comes in and at first they get their butt beat, and then they rally and they use different techniques that her dad had taught them, and they're able to defeat Master Lu and kill him, and that's the end of the movie. All right, it sounds like a typical Hong Kong Taiwanese kung fu movie, and and on the surface it may seem like it, but this is a really interesting film for the story. Now, most of the Taiwanese, most Hong Kong movies, they do something a little different. A lot over here, what we hear in America, in the West, what we do is we write out scripts, we write stories, and then we act to the story. We act to the story. In Hong Kong, they do the reverse. They film the fight scenes first. So all the kung fu movies you see, all the fight scenes are done first, and then the story will follow after the action is filmed. Didn't know that. I didn't know that. But so a lot of those films, that's what happens. In fact, that happened with Jackie Chan's very first police story. That's what they did. They filmed all the fight scenes first, and then they filled it in with a story. Well, someone must have forgotten to tell this to this filmmaker, this writer, who I can't. Let's see who wrote this. I don't know if I can pronounce the name of the writer who did this. I'll try. Jin Shang Lu and Hassan Milin. Okay, I tried. Well, they actually wrote a script for this story. It makes it's a really interesting. It starts off more like a light comedy, slapsticky. All the fight scenes, they're not really serious. I mean, yes, there's some good fight scenes here, but there's no intent. There's not like I'm trying to wipe out this person. Master Lu, who turns out to be the main bad guy, he's not a bad guy when we first see him. We see, he's doing some shenanigans. He's doing some extortion numbers, but he's not really hurting anybody. At first, he's really not. I mean, even the henchmen are, if the vendors had actually gathered together, they probably could have kicked their butt. So he shows tremendous compassion to Haiso. Everybody sees him as a simpleton, as a simple person, but he sees that he wants to become more of himself, so he takes him underneath, and becomes like a father figure to him, to learn to show him his technique, and they're working together, and you see them training together, and there's mutual respect and love there, and and it's not like teacher or master, it's like master Lu, it's very respectful. So it continues like this, and then we see that that he's not all that, and then he's had a shady past, and he killed Ho's mother, and so we know that this is gonna like what will Haiso do? What's he gonna do? Is he gonna stay with his loyalty? Gonna be with Master Lu, or will it be with Haiso, or will it be with Ho, the girl that he loves? And you really don't know. Even when they have to start having the final fight, you see Haiso, he's right there, but he's afraid to jump in. And so he's and he's watching the daughter and the father and the daughter fight basically fight his father, Master Lu, and he stands there off the side, and he knows, because Ho's father has mentioned that he cannot stop Master Lu by himself. He's just too old. And while he does try very hard, but by the time that Haiso jumps in to help, it's too late. Ho's father has died. If he had jumped in from the very beginning, the three of them probably could have took him out, and maybe not even had to kill him in the first, even though they wanted revenge. But he does hesitate, and it does lead to an unfortunate death. Very different. You would have thought that Ho would have saw that and said, "Oh, hell no." But they turn around and he doesn't want to fight his master any more than he really doesn't. But when he sees that his master is trying to hurt the woman he loves, well, he uses the Mantis Kung Fu, and they use Mantis, and they defeat the chicken style and they kill Master Lu. Um, Good movie. I mean, it really was. I mean, smartly written and really wonderfully acted. You know, for a Hong Kong kung fu movie, Taiwanese movie, this had a lot of heart and humor into it. And like I said, it wasn't your average chopsaki. It was actually had a really good story to it and some good acting. The girl who played Ho, let's see if I can get her name. I can't pronounce the last name. Let's see. See if I can get her name. I don't think I can. I don't think I can. Oh, let's see. Let's see. I'm looking this up here. Uh, yeah, I can't pronounce it. I won't. But she's a beautiful girl. She had definitely some powerful skills. All right, so that's the end of this movie, Death Duel of Mantis. Pretty much get this on public domain. Most kung fu collections might have this out there. It might even be on YouTube. I'll look for a copy of it. If it is on YouTube, I will go ahead and put a link to it so you guys can watch it. But this is a lot of fun. This is old. It's not a very good transfer, so this is sort of grainy, but it works. And the other one we'll be watching is called Bells of Death, and we'll get to that sometime soon. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this review. Yeah, I like this one. Death Duel of Mantis. A lot of fights, a lot of action, humor, romance. Yep, one to look up. All right, well, thanks so much for watching. And, oh, yeah, this is a Dollar Tree Theater. So, our good thanks to Hobbs Horror for starting Dollar Tree Theater. All right, that's it for us. We are out of here. Peace.